Hi, this is Aya Sturdivant, aka the Metaphysician, here with a perfect dream, and today is Fat Friday. And Fat Friday is when I take questions from my viewers who have emailed me with their questions, wanting me to respond from the authentic living perspective, from the authentic consciousness perspective. So today, I have two emails, and they're just going to be brief. But for those of you who don't understand what that is, please go to my Facebook page and view the videos, and you will see precisely what this week's theme is, which is changing the perspective to meet your goals, dreams, and aspirations. This week's Fat Friday questions, I have two of them. And one is how to change your perspective towards money out of, coming from a situation where there was lack. So the person who asked me this question, they're basically saying that they came out of a situation where there was poverty involved, and they're looking to make some life changes. They understand that they might have a poverty mentality, and they would like to get into a more wealthier perspective of their money so that they can attract more money to themselves. So my answer to that is, again, research. If you're having the perspective of lack and you know that, start Googling, start reading some books, start getting into some books about the perspective that you should have towards money and towards finances and things of that nature, and not necessarily looking to, pray or what have, even though those things can be good, but just understanding that this is a mental thing, that again, it is a mental way that you have perceived something that has gotten you into lack. So again, reading books, researching, getting on Google, also dealing with other spiritual gurus, Wayne Dyer, Napoleon Hill, watching The Secret, watching, Michael Beckwith, a couple of, Abraham Hicks and Jerry Hicks, watching their particular tapes and videos to understand that you can overcome that, and that there are many people who are also struggling with that, and you can maybe get some insights on how to deal with that based on some of the tips and suggestions and exercises that those spiritual advisors do offer. So research, that's definitely one. Another is going into meditation. Also looking at mantra. Mantra is they have a lot of problem solving mantras. Please don't crap on them. They have a lot of problem solving mantra, Sanskrit mantra. My honest suggestion is to start with Thomas Ashley Farrand. His books for people who are looking to chant beginning. That is how I started. I ordered several of his books, and I do not regret that decision. Because there are more, mantra are more of a personal thing, and some of us don't really want people to know that we have these issues. We want to appear perfect, and that was where my head was. My head was, I wanted to appear perfect, and I had these issues, and so I started chanting the mantras, and once those issues were revealed to me, I was more comfortable with dealing with them and stripping them away, knowing that the reason why I had the issues was because they weren't authentically me. I was more happy being myself than something that I wasn't. So that is what started causing the money problems, was inauthentic living. So that's another thing, getting more and more information as much as you possibly can for inauthentic living. And I'm glad you contacted me, and I'll definitely be glad to give you any more information in regards to authentic living and becoming the wealthier person that you were always meant to be. So those are my suggestions in regards to developing a healthier perspective towards wealth and finances. Also, I have another question from a viewer, and he talks about, addiction and obsessive compulsive disorder. and how to overcome that through authentic living. And for those who have OCD, and for those who have addiction issues, normally those are things when you're looking for something on the outside to satiate something on the inside that is empty. So the addiction is used to fill that, and the OCD is meant that if you do these things, that everything is going to be all right. And so you have an obsessive behavior. And really, those things are really just perverted. They're kind of backwards towards authentic living. So really, there's an action that you should be doing that will, satiate that desire that you're meant to be doing over and over again, but you're doing the wrong action, and this is where it becomes a problem. So you're doing an action with OCD that is basically meant for authentic living. That, okay, there's something that the soul wants you to be doing authentically, and because you're doing the wrong thing, and you're so adamant of doing the wrong thing, not wanting to get to the root issue of what actions you should be doing. It just comes off in, obsessive cleaning, obsessive, wiping down of things, not touching things, isolating the self. So again, addressing those issues with research, reading a lot of spiritual books. Do understand that most issues that are physical issues normally have a spiritual reason behind them. And again, I recommend for those who have OCD to do the mantra, because it'll definitely open up and give you a perspective of yourself that you didn't look at before. And once light of consciousness is shined on something that had no light on it, you can look at that in a different way, and you can begin to heal. Addiction is more of looking for an outside stimulation because you are not finding inspiration in your everyday life. Sometimes being, in a altered state of mind, for some people it can give them inspiration, or for some people not even inspiration, it just gives them a different way of being able to look at life, from the perspective of being in a altered state of mind. I wanted to talk about making room to combat these things. If you have a bad perspective of wealth, start being a little bit more mindful of what you're doing with your current finances. If you don't like to check your bank account, start checking it every day and see where your balance is. Even though it may be fearful, even though you may be like, oh my God, I ain't got nothing in there and I just don't want to look at it, do it anyway. Start getting over that so you're more comfortable looking at that. Remember that how you approach a relationship to wealth is how you approach a relationship with other people's anyway. Do you not want to deal with, your spouse when you feel frustrated or upset, or it's not going the way you want it to go? Do you feel frustrated with your children when it's not going on the way you want to go and you just avoid them? That could be possibly how you're approaching your money. Okay, so also approach from the perspective of now coming with courage, with boldness, wanting to know what's going on, regardless on whether it's something that you want to face right now or something that, you feel like dealing with, but wanting to know what's going on, wanting to understand what is happening with your finances and where you've been spending your money, so you can have a better track of that. Also with the addiction, wanting to definitely figure out where this desire for outside stimulation is coming from. What is it that you're not reaching into with yourself or tapping into in yourself that is giving you some inspiration? So again, chanting mantra, meditating, and also a good psychotherapist, definitely. To give you some better ways to look at things, because certain times when we're sick or when we have addiction, we're looked at as bad people, or we're looked at as throwaways, or you're a bad person, you've got this going on, you're a bad person, you've got that going on, you're not like everyone else. Those things can be harmful to the psyche, and definitely don't aid in recovery of any kind of addiction. So it's best to seek some psychotherapy, some help, to be able to have someone talk with you to get you to be able to flip that thing around and be able to look at that from another perspective so that it encourages healing. So that is Fat Fridays, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into A Perfect Dream. I really appreciate it. For questions, comments, suggestions, please contact me at aperfectdream37@yahoo.com or www.aperfectdream.org. Visit me on Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Until next time, you are the change that you seek. Namaste.